Next up.
Talk to me.
This week's ELLIE House game of the week. The game of the week we got this week is the Canton McKinley Bulldogs versus the Mentor Cardinals.
You know it.
Talk to us.
Division I, Region 1 battle. Canton McKinley 8-4, Mentor 12-0. We talked about Canton McKinley a lot on the show. We've seen them a couple times in person. We know how much talent they got. They can play with any team in the state of Ohio, just based off talent, based off pedigree, tradition, and the coaching staff they got. They're coming off 2 back-to-back wins. They beat Normandy 49-7, and they got some revenge last week against Jackson. Jackson beat them in week 9, 20-7. So they came back and got Jackson last week, 35-32. So they're coming off 2 big-time wins in the playoffs, going into week 13 against Mentor. When you look at all their playmakers, they loaded. Nino Hill, Jamar Johnson, Dante McCullum, Keith Quincy, DJ Britt, Darius Hill. Sometimes it's simple. Let's just try to get these guys the ball in space as much as we can, and we'll be fine. But like I said, when I'm talking about Canton McKinley, anytime I'm talking about Canton McKinley, can they take care of the ball and can they keep the penalties down? If they can do them 2 things, they'll be in the game. They will be right there to be in the game with a chance to win it. I expect it to be a really, really good game, but that's kind of something that I'm looking at. Can McKinley keep the penalties down and take care of the ball? Defensively, I think McKinley got a stout defense, especially up front. They've been playing well the last couple of weeks. We've seen them against Massillon in week 10. They had a good showing that week when they gave up 16 points against Massillon. They gave up 7 points against Normandy. They did give up 32 last week, but that's playing against a team that's in your conference. I'm sure they know a little bit more about Canton McKinley and kind of how to attack them. But all in all, they still got the job done. They got a good front 7, Dior Gardner, Kayvon McNeil, Dante McClellan kind of lead that front 7. But the thing I'm looking at is can their secondary have a good game? When you play against Mentor, they got Scotty Fox over there slinging that thing. Your secondary has to have a big-time game. So that's the one thing that I'm looking at as far as their defense for Canton McKinley is how good of a game can their secondary have this week. Right. On the Mentor side, Mentor coming off wins against St. Ignatius, 31-7, week 11, and then last week they beat Strongsville 33-0. They got one of the best offenses in the state of Ohio. Shout out to Scotty Fox. He won this district's Offensive Player of the Year. Shout out to Coach Matt Gray. He won the district's Coach of the Year. So they led by a good coach and a good staff. They got one of the best players in the state of Ohio and one of the best quarterbacks. But when you look at their offense, not only do they got Scotty Fox, they got running back Jackson Fairley. They got receivers Austin Van Hughes and Justin Hodge. And then up front, they led by Landry Brady. So they check every box offensively. So if you Canton McKinley in that defense, that's why I was kind of saying they secondary got to make sure they play well this week because they're balanced. Anytime you play in a balanced team, any team normally, you always want to stop the run first because Mentor can run the ball. Shout out to Jackson Fairley. He don't get a lot of love, but that kid is a football player. He's a really good running back. But then out wide, they got Austin Van Hoos and Justin Hodge. So secondary, they got to man up and make a lot of plays. Scotty Fox is really accurate and decisive with the ball. He know where you want to go. So any false step, any leaks in the defense, he's going to expose you. So you got to be ready for that guy. When you look at the offense, Mentor's offense, they're averaging 40.5 points a game. So they've been doing this all year long. Defense right now is only giving up 13 points a game. They only gave up a high of 27 against Cleveland Heights. I think that was in week 5 or week 6 early in the year. So offense is loaded. We talked about all the guys they got on offense. Their defense has been playing great ball all year, but they get overshadowed because their offense is so explosive and high power. You know what I mean? In the media, all we want to talk about is people that score points and the touchdowns and the highlights. But they got a big-time defense over there, man. Like I said, they're only giving up 13 points a game. Their defense is led by senior defensive lineman Julian Solis, big-time player. They got 2 really good linebackers, Spencer Barninger and Caden Clare. They kind of patrol the middle. They can play the pass or the run. Vocal leaders, get them guys set up. And then in the backfield, defensive backfield, they got Cameron Taylor and junior defensive back Xavier Dunn. So they check every box on defense also. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I mean, Massillon and Mentor probably, give or take a position or 2 here or there, but they're probably brought on the same playing field.
I literally just wrote that down on my notes.
Right, so
the similarity between Mentor and I literally just wrote that down on my notes.
So that's good for Canton McKinley though, because this won't be nothing new for them. But this will definitely be the biggest test up to date, because it's week 13. It's when they go home. even though Massillon was a big-time team and it's a big-time rivalry, like we talked about, one of the best in the country, that's still in week 10 in the regular season. That ain't win or go home. So at this point of the season, they playing the best team and the biggest challenge, because if they don't bring it, if they lose, they on their way home. So I think Canton McKinley and Mentor are going to be a big-time game. Canton McKinley got everything they need to win. Mentor got everything they need to win. Both teams got talent, coaching staffs. The community's going to back them up. Again, I don't know where the game is going to be at. I didn't see the location site announced yet, but it's going to be a big-time game in Division I, Region 1. And then I'm excited that it's our game of the week and we get to cover it. And it's that time, baby. Week 13. Winner go to the regional final.
Man, this Ellie House game of the week, Canton McKinley, it's funny, like I said, you just took the thought out of my head as far as the similarity, as far as, like you said, give or take a couple players.
Right.
Like I'm looking at this game and I'm saying, all right, Scotty Fox and Jalen Sauter may be two different kind of styles of quarterback as far as it pertains to how much they get leaned on.
But they're two good quarterbacks.
But you're still looking at quarterbacks with that moxie and that swag that, going against a Canton McKinley defense that we know up front with Dior Gardner, solid, and the other guys. We know the second level. So we talk about the young linebacking core, and also Dante McClellan, of course, anchor in the middle, being able to patrol that middle. But the question, if I had a question, it would be the backside. Right, that backside secondary. How long could they stay locked in? Because we seen them give up one early against Massillon. You know what I'm saying? A deep ball early. So, and I watched them I watched this playoff game that they just played against Jackson, and the beneficiary of them, it could be one of them seasons where, like I said, they were trailing, opened the third quarter with a kickoff return for a touchdown. So, certain things happen on certain teams, how they win games. Your team made a championship run in high school, so you coached a championship run in high school. So, like certain games, like,
you need a little luck.
You need a little luck. To kind of make it right.
You need a little luck.
It might be with Canton McKinley might have one of them. Every win may not be pretty, but you have different things and they get it done. So that could be the storyline of this game. You know what I'm saying? 12-0 versus 8-4.
Yes.
And but like this winner go home, so none of that matters.
And the thing about it is, Canton McKinley got the talent that can play against anybody. They got the talent that can play against anybody. And I'm sure when you prepare on the other side as a coaching staff, when you watching Canton McKinley, you preparing for them, you hoping. I hope this ain't the week they put it all together. A game that Canton McKinley puts it all together in all three phases with all that talent is scary for the opponent. That's scary. Right. Because like I said, they got everything they need. Canton McKinley got everything they need. It's another big time game, another chance for Cam Montgomery to play big. And we talked about all them playmakers, man. Shout out to Jamar Johnson to the opening kickoff in the second half back last week and kind of gave them that boost to kind of get going in the second half and get them over the hedge. But that's how much talent they got. That's the backup tailback. And he, you can hand it to him. The game before, he had a big time game running. Last week, he returns the kickoff. And that's the thing about being deep and having depth is it could have been Nino Hill for the first 8 weeks or whatever it may be. But now here comes Jamar Johnson, a big-time player that you got and brought in for this time of the year to be able to help push you over the top. Keith Quincy making plays. DJ Britt had a one-handed touchdown catch last week. Darius Hill, the young sophomore in the slot. We know Dante McClellan can make plays all over the offense, defense. You can snap it to him at quarterback, whatever you want to do. So Canton McKinley got everything they need. It's just, can this be this game to put it all together and also do it with penalties being low, taking care of the ball, and it's going to be an exciting game. And they're doing it against the Mentor Cardinal team that's been playing well since week 1. They've been locked in and playing well since week 1. So
is that going to be, and ask me your opinion, Coach, how challenging is it for the signal caller to have, is it a thing of having too many weapons? Like, can you overcomplicate things by having so many options, a buffet of offense to choose?
There is no such thing as having too many playmakers. But yes, you can sometimes overcomplicate things and overthink things too much. And that's why I'm just kind of saying at the end of the day, as a play caller, a lot of times, we got these play sheets that look all fancy and all that. But sometimes it's okay. I just need the menu of number 9, Dante McClellan plays. I need the plays of what I like from Nino Hill. What's the plays I like with Darius Hill in the slot that can give me a big play? That's kind of how I'm looking at it in the playoffs. Sometimes it's more about players than it is about plays.
Right.
So they got the players that can make the plays. It's just a matter of putting them in the right position, the quarterback delivering the ball or handing the ball off based on whatever defensive look you're getting and whatever call you're getting from the sideline. Another big thing is last time we seen Canton McKinley play against Massillon, they had a lot of pre-snap hiccups as far as getting the play call in or the quarterback having to run all the way to the sideline and back to the huddle. Mm-hmm. So hopefully they got that cleaned up because sometimes that could throw offense on the rhythm too, just not being able to get the call in the huddle, get out the call. Right, you want to get a rhythm, play, call, break, play it. Or, you know what I mean? And kind of get in the rhythm.
So we seen that against Massillon. Cam Montgomery a lot of time before he even got the survey, the pre-snap read, he was already 4, 3, 2 seconds.
Breaking the huddle in 7 seconds on the play clock. So the quarterback can't get a pre-snap read or a feel of what he may be looking at or what he may think may be coming. So,
but to their credit, they still was right there in the game for the whole game. So our Ellie House game of the week.
Yes, sir.
Winner. You know what I'm saying?
Want to go to week 13, bro.
Indeed, man.
Stay locked in between the lines and Coach Stella.